Peace, peace. Let me adjust this. Let me share. Let me share it out. Uh, hold up. Peace. The subject of today, guess it's going to be on freedom. Hold up. All right.
Holy shit. Why are you not using the thing?
Peace, peace, peace.
The phone thing.
Can you?
Peace,
No.
peace. Yeah, I can hear you.
Peace. You can hear me? All right.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I heard it's multiple. It's other people in your live.
Nah, it's just me.
I just heard a bunch of voices.
Oh, that was my girl in the background.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. Yeah, now I don't know. I don't know how this works, so it'd be, what I mean. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of wrote on the thing. I just wrote freedom. You know, as was going to be like, I guess the subject. But
Yeah.
I guess we get, man, you could just talk until like, till somebody pop on. But
Yeah.
yeah, but because really what I do when I repost these lives that I make, I put them on my YouTube.
Oh, you
So
do?
yeah, so 'cause I got a YouTube channel. So regardless, you know what
I
I
should
mean.
probably start doing that, man. I don't do that too often.
Yeah, and you can preserve your stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
That's true. I,
Yeah. 'Cause,
you use Rumble?
huh?
You use Rumble? They have Rumble too.
What's that?
It's like YouTube. You just post your stuff on there, and but they'll pay you. It's um less requirements to be monetized over there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I might check it. Yeah, I might check it out. Yeah, I definitely might check it out. Cause I just realized that they had the replay, like how you go on the creators part and it say like replays. I
Yeah.
wasn't even aware of that until I'm telling you, I might have just learned that in the last week.
Yeah, I still don't know what exactly you're talking about replays.
Yeah, when you go on the creation center, like you go into like the settings part,
Oh
and
yeah.
then and you go down to the creation, it'll say like creation center or whatever.
Okay.
Hit that, like hit the live. It'll say like live creation, whatever. Hit that, and then to the left you're gonna see replays, and then it's gonna have all your lives. I think they hold them for like 30 days. So any of the lives that you did, you can just download them.
Yeah, I usually go at like 1 o'clock, so I do probably like 20 minutes of it, like
Right,
on my lunch break. So I
right.
probably I'm gonna start doing that. That makes more sense. Like just to keep it, and you could build your base on another platform as well.
Exactly, because with the YouTube thing, and I probably with Reddit, what you said it's called Reddit or Rumble.
Rumble.
Yeah, they probably you got to make content in order to keep
Yeah, to
it
get
getting
in the algorithm right. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a sister. She wanted to get on. she wanted to get on with us. I had asked her about it. Her page is basically she talks about multiple things though. I think you probably would really enjoy it because she commented on my on my video I put up earlier because I said something about freedom and she just gave a whole rundown of what what she believes freedom is and stuff like that. Plus, she
Mm.
was strong on the mud flood thing too.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so
What's her name?
her name is Jenny the John.
Mm.
Yeah, Jenny
Yeah,
the
I think I
John.
see her. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you should follow. I mean, her stuff is she her stuff is interesting. You know what I mean? And she's an individual that's like she's living in a woke state. She's not living in a sleep state. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. I was watching a YouTube, not a YouTube, but a podcast about people that are in the sleep state, and he
Right.
was saying, it's not that you're trying to um explain, it's that they don't want to know. People, the sheep, the normal
Right.
people, they don't want to know what you know, and then when they
Right.
get confronted with that information, it's like, yo, they have to make a decision about their lifestyle. And I think that's where most people buck up against, you know?
And then this is like a lot. It's too much. It's too much work for them because they don't want to know because they got to figure it out. After you got to figure out. Like, dang, well, it's a lot of mental work that go into being woke.
How you want to move. Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean? You can't be woke and you just aware. Your awareness is on as it goes up. You just got not you got more to worry about, but then you start seeing where you were slipping before. It's just a lot of people don't want to go through that, and then a lot of people they happy with their little space that they have inside of the matrix. So you know what I
Man, you
mean?
got to get people uncomfortable, man. That's what I'm been saying. You got to get people like to start wanting to make the change. You know what I'm saying? Like this
Yeah.
ain't this ain't the way. Like, I had posted a video today. Damn, let me think about it. Hold on. It was about J. Edgar Hoover and how
Hmm.
he was, you know, going after Fred Hampton, how they went after the Black Panthers, and it's like, yo, if we really had a true republic and we were really free, they wouldn't go after people that have different outlooks or different dreams of how the future should look for people. They should allow it to foment so that it will start to seep into the culture and everybody will be better. But we know what that's about, you
Yeah,
know.
it's so much connected with how they dealt with the people at that time. Up until now, it's just really you know it's like a deep talk. Like I mean, really like some of those, a lot of that stuff is a lot of deep stuff with that stuff. Like even with the Panthers and um, outside influences, and then you got people that was really righteous with it with the whole movement, and
Yeah, they
but
put the drugs in the neighborhoods, yeah, for sure, and
right.
derailed the whole thing.
Yeah, because a lot of those guys, you had a certain guys, and women, sisters, they went to prison, right? Or was
Hmm.
on the run and all the different stuff, right? You had that, you had those, or died, and then you had the ones that, at the end of the day, they ended up getting social service jobs through the government and stuff like that. It's a lot of different stuff that you know that when it goes into all of these groups. That's why,
Yeah,
like, if we form groups, well, in organizations and stuff like that, people, you really gotta, if you're gonna try to, like, I'm just speaking, in my opinion,
yeah,
like, if you're gonna try to advise people or try to pull people to something better, you gotta be rap tight because they'll always be able to find a way to use some stuff against you.
Right, use influences to influence you away
Right.
from your original goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this brother Felonious Capers. Yeah, I follow this brother too. Yeah, he be putting out some good stuff too. I,
Thelonious Cape.
yeah, I think that's his Felonious Capers guy. He be putting out some conscious some alright stuff. You know what I mean? Like yeah, he one of the
Mm,
guys I've been seeing be putting out some alright videos that make you think. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But
I think that's one of the things we need to start. I said something this morning on my Twitter live. I said, um, our greatest thinkers haven't even began to think, you know,
mm,
because we got so many people that living day to day, check to check, hustling in the hoods, and they're not really having the opportunity to be the greatest parts of themselves. And we
right,
gotta get to the point where I love what the Moors is doing. They're giving us a whole new aspect of looking at life, right? How to do business, not only business, but dealing with each other in the legal sense,
right.
right? But we got to focus on how we're going to eat and our shelter. I feel like once we get those things lined up, once you know where your food is and you know where you are protected at, the sky is the limit for us. You know?
But you know what? I believe that it all work. It all supposed to work together to me. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
if we was brought up, raised, and educated and reared properly, we would have we wouldn't have to think we wouldn't think that certain things were separate. Everything will come up. We will be together. Like
Right.
we would
Right.
know our rights. We would know our responsibilities. We would know all of that stuff. We wouldn't even be having to deal with law and then
Mm,
but neglect. You know what I'm saying? It would all been together.
mm.
So
Yeah,
I know.
all things is one thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
you
know,
just expounding on it. We building on the thought process. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And,
right.
and that's what helps everybody um think about the new aspect of what's coming, the future of our people, and how our people should look at each other and think about each other. And I think that was one of the things I was telling Abdullah Bay. I'm like, man, it's cool to go out there and teach these things, but you know, people hearing that, they're not looking at it as it's something trendy, something cool, something that should be done. They're looking at it as it's something obscure outside of their realm of possibilities. We have to bring it out of from the realm of obscure and impossible into the possible, you know?
Indeed, indeed, for sure. But some things is beyond the scope of certain people at certain
Mm.
times. What I mean, if you got somebody that's just on a certain level of thought and just even whatever, just what they conscious of. Like we ain't even talking about the spirit. I ain't saying that spiritual. I mean just you know, some people really can't think past religion.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm telling you, I come from a religious people. Like I'm just saying. So if you say something about law, they gonna always run it back to religion. So it's
Yeah.
so even so if you talk about that, it's just you know what I mean. It's beyond their scope. So kind of like you gotta kind of inform and advise people according to what you see their level is. I mean, that's if you interacting with somebody face to face. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But
I mean, even over the internet, right? I mean,
yeah, that too, because
I
we know our following. Like if we got a following, you know, we know kind of what the you know.
yeah,
Not say because I ain't gonna lie. Like most of the people that like my people, they highly intelligent. Don't get it,
Yeah.
they not slow, but they highly intelligent. Some of them got education and all that. Like it's no, but they highly intelligent. It's just that the programming that we all been under for so long, uh, only a few can really escape it in a certain way. You know what I mean? But you know, just like the freedom we're going to eventually talk about, right? You know what I mean? It really, freedom is not for everybody. It's not really meant for everybody. Even if from a spiritual and from the spiritual aspect of freedom, everybody not, some people they are meant to be forever locked into a negative, a paradigm, just a fake negative paradigm, a fake way of thinking and all of that stuff. So, and I ain't saying that against the people, but I'm just saying I know people. I know how the people are. Like, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And
Do you think it's like the wilderness story in Exodus, where it's like, you have to wait out a certain generation because they have been so indoctrinated with the old ways that it's hard to get them into doing the new ways of stuff? Is that how you think it is?
I mean, it could be something like that. Because really, if when you get into like from religion, we was taught to be like to just believe in what the Bible say, believe in what the Quran say, right? But come to find out, the stuff got a lot of different kinds of meanings, and it may be like you get into allegory and all that kind of stuff. You know, the people in the Bible when they went out of Egypt, they wandered in a land for 40 years. It should only took them. It should only took them 2 weeks, or I'm just using
Yeah,
2 weeks
yeah.
or a month to walk through. But it took them. They stayed in this place in a state of confusion for 40 years.
Mm.
So, but like you just said, the people don't want to. A lot of the people, they don't really want. Everybody's desire for truth ain't the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you know what I mean. The truth could be sitting. It's sitting right in front of it. It's written on the wall, and the people they don't want to see it. You tell them like, look right there, and you be trying to move their head. They be no, I don't want to look. I don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I know you know what I'm talking about, because people in our own families and all that stuff to act just like
yeah.
that.
It's
You know what I
everywhere.
mean?
It's everywhere.
But you know, you just gotta take that in consideration when you advise people. I've been like, because even
Because
when
when you talk about law, and people take it to the Bible or take it to the Quran, and you say, well, you want to meet them where they're at.
Mhm.
Shouldn't we like correlate today's law to those ancient laws and show how it formed into what we have today?
It is. It's just that it is because, and you got different forms of law, all types of
Yeah,
this ecclesiastical, all that. You got all these different kind of laws.
natural law. Yeah.
Common, law that's in one kind of court, and then it's a lot with the law thing. But if you don't know the law, you don't know what you're signing yourself up for. You see what I'm saying? So like automatically by us not being informed, I don't even want to say educated. We're
Mm.
not informed about how we should be operating in this system. See, the system was created by us, by Moorish
Right.
people. But
Right.
then the system was overtaken,
Mm.
and just like all the other identities that were hijacked, this American identity was hijacked because the original country is a republic. It's not a democracy.
Right.
It's so many different ins and outs that people don't understand. Uh, and so if you tell them something, they're not gonna get it. Like they just going, they're gonna be over here in left field somewhere. You know, you know what I mean? For real, for real. Uh, it's just so many different. We gotta learn the law, because this is how they get us. We signed up for everything. You can't, everything is based on contract.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but Even if you look, when people talk about slavery and stuff like that, everybody
Mm.
was under servitude back in the day. Which you people who you think was white people, all that they was all under servitude. They was all in some type of contract. You know what I mean? It's just that how the servitude was portrayed in the Hollywood and on the television, it distorted the reality in the minds
Of
of
what
the
actually
people.
happened. Yeah.
Right. So come to find out, the guys they had on the food stamp, the founders of the nation, George Washington and
Hmm.
Abraham Benjamin Franklin, these guys, these men were under servitude.
Yeah.
They was under servitude too.
To
You know what I
who?
mean? To I mean, whoever was over top of them in reference to well,
The Moors of Britain.
yeah, but you gotta understand. But see, when the more you dig into it, see, these is empires. France, England, Spain is empires,
Yeah.
and the seat of the empire has been moved many times. It's like they got us thinking that the seat of the empire of, let's say, Spain was
Mm.
over there in Europe, right?
Mm.
And the seat of Britain was there, but no, you go back 300 years, you in England. You go to Massachusetts, you in England.
Mm.
If you go down to Florida, you in Spain. I'm just saying the people, but see, this stuff that people it's foreign to people's thoughts because we've been they didn't hijack our minds through Hollywood and through the reconstruction of history, whereas though everything has been flipped around. The original stuff we already here. You are English people.
So, so when we
It's
talking
already here.
about a republic, right? I think
Hmm.
giving people a good image of what a republic looks like is important because you have to give them the dichotomy, right? The two different things. They know what a democracy looks like, right? Where the Fortune 500 companies run the world and they control they're the lobbyists who control the politicians that to do their bidding. What does a republic look like for the people to understand where we should be moving towards?
Well, I'm not learned enough to speak on the exact of this and it's different. I just that's something to get into. That's something to strive to get into and to learn. In detail. Just in detail about it.
Mm.
But but of lightweight other smaller things that we know about, even when we was talking about what Noble Drew Ali, what
Hmm.
he what he established for the American people, which is stuff that's filed, legally filed. This is stuff that is this is when the Social Security and birth certificate, all the business, the commerce is done based on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the way debt, even amassing debt, selling debt, you almost you got to be a debt slave inside the system. But the reason why this was put down like that is because once the people got the land back, the people got the land back, but the people got to step in their true selves.
Mm.
Because the self that's on the birth certificate, Social Security card is not going to connect you to the land. You got to give back. You got to go get your real identity, the natural blood, flesh and blood. But what I'm just this is what I'm saying. What they trade on the people. This is how
Yeah,
we owe this country money. Well, they owe this country these countries this money. How you gonna pay it back? They pay it back with the people. Even if you got 100,000 babies or 1,000,000 babies born at a certain time, with this national within a certain amount of years, whatever a certain amount of these babies is going to work and pay taxes, whatever. That's kind of like a basic. But the people already got the land; they just not in their true identity.
yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like, we have to get people into the mindset of how do they get into their true identity, right? because we've
Mm.
been calling ourselves black for so long. We've been calling ourselves, African American. It's
Right.
about how do we get into the zeitgeist, not the tradition, but the into the culture that this is actually cool. That this is actually the way to move. This is actually
Right.
the idea. You know.
I don't think it's hard. Truthfully, it ain't because being uh conscious, cognizant, your mind be, that always has been a style. Being somebody who's in the know, that always been like something that I believe that people were always gonna go towards it. Because there's even some aspects of religion that wasn't so popular in the past, and I see just not even people that's even on the religion like that, and they levitate toward these aspects, these high aspects, like character and stuff like that. But what I mean, the people just need to be urged, especially people learn from example. You know what I mean? And that's just really just how it works, and it always comes by people doing the work. You got you live where you live.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta alchemize your own reality, your own area where you at first before you
Mm.
like try to go out and change. But that's what alchemy is too, right?
Yeah.
you change. You know what I
Transmute.
mean?
Yeah.
The reality for where you at, what you doing, and then you get linked with a like-minded person
Mm.
like yourself from somewhere else, and then we like link on some like-minded stuff.
Mm.
you know. But all of us that's really we changed. We didn't influence some people. We didn't influence some people. You know what I mean? Even if
No, I
because
believe that.
it's people watching the live but they not on it. They watching it from the outside. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's people watching. They keeping track. You know what I mean?
Right.
But uh, yeah, you just gotta work. We just gotta work at it. That's why I know that Allah, the Most High, He
Mm.
put me inside certain things for a reason, like with
Yeah.
boxing and stuff like that, because I know how stuff work, you know, and it take time. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't happen like it just don't happen quickly
Right.
all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got one person, one
Yeah.
dude can change the world.
It's kind of like going to the gym, and you might be 125 pounds, and you can't lift 150 pounds, and then in a couple years,
Hmm.
that time and that preparation and that practice, you get conditioned to be able to lift certain types of weight. So
Right.
I definitely agree with that. Like
Yeah.
that's on a small scale. That's alchemy, because that's a vision you have of something that you want, and you work
Mhm.
towards it. It's just moving into the spiritual aspect of it, the whole thing, and transmuting the world that you want to see in a grander scale.
Right. And
Right.
you just got to be patient with it. It always take time to it always just take time to cultivate high aspects, high things. Anything. Okay. Well, all right. I got to think about what I do in order to develop an elite fighter. I know what it takes. It take time. It take
Yeah.
dedication. It take a
Mm,
lot of it take a lot of mind power.
mm,
It take a lot of dedication, day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. So it's the same thing with anything else, like establishing a solid community, building you get married in order to build a solid relationship in their marriage. It takes
mm.
work. It's not all about fun and games. You got to work day in and day out at it. You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? So it can be applied to all, that kind of having determination in that way and discipline in that way. can be just really can just be applied to everything in life. You know, that's just my opinion. You know, but you know, I'm gonna say like you just gotta really like try to teach people, talk to people on their own level, because and everybody ain't an expert at everything. You know, like
Mm.
you know, your thing could be law, my thing could be agriculture.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And this other one over here could be medicine.
Into building or
Right.
metallurgy or
Yeah,
data, building computers. Yeah, like that.
right.
And I'm with that. Like that's why I'm because in the Bible it talks about everybody has their talents. You know,
Right.
each person is gonna be have their talent in whatever they specialize in, and I think we try to look at it like everybody needs to learn the laws and do this and do this. It's like, nah, we need to figure out how we can get our own lawyers that speak on our behalf, that can move with us, that help us grow this situation.
Right.
Maybe I'm a little too optimistic on that because it's like,
No, no, you ain't being too optimistic. That's a part. That's where they want us to. They want us to think that they want to see. They want us to look at what they did to former uh leaders that existed and they that were assassinated or they were torn down by whatever. They want us to think that way. They want us to. That's one of the things they want us to discourage us. They can't, but we can't let that discourage us. We got to keep putting out our truth, but slash the truth about these things, because it's the stuff is literally in our hands. Whether I don't care if you're talking about the mud flood and waking people up, it is the truth though, but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
true. So who else gonna tell it? Because the people that don't care about nothing, when they not gonna tell it. What they don't care about it. They don't even care about it enough to know it, to know about it. So they ain't gonna step up and tell somebody, yo, man, that's bull mess, man. They ain't build that building. That building was there when they got here.
Mm.
Whatever, like whatever the
I
case may
think
be.
that's
But
I
yeah,
think
that's
that's
really
part
that's the
of
truth.
the I think that's part of the problem too. Like people looking at uh can't fathom that there was stuff here before the Europeans got here. So and like I said, it's not in the zeitgeist of the melanated people to even come to that conclusion. Like, yo, we built this, yo, we came up with this. So if we
But that's
did that, we could do it again. We could fall right back into place with that again.
but that's programming. But see, everybody, you gotta get you gotta shoot somebody something a little bit at a time. The programming. It's just like
Mm.
before. I remember, it's the programming. Nobody who guess what? Okay, everywhere else in the world, they got ancient culture. They got ancient kings, ancient queens, emperors, all this different stuff, right? But over here in America, we ain't had that here. It wasn't no they came over here and it was just what happened to the Indians? Oh, they all died off from chicken pox and all smallpox and all that. Or people don't even be knowing that what they believe in is it don't even make common sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for real, it's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff. Like it's a shock. It's a shock to people. Not just it's a real shock to have to deal with. Uh, just most. Hey, listen, man. If like saying people who believe in the whole 10 million people, 15 million people was brought from Africa over here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
On boats. Okay, they believe that's what they taught us. That's what we believe, right? Okay.
Hmm.
But then when you use your hand, you look at the boat that or the picture, because guess what? They got a 5 million, they got an 8 million year old dinosaur bone that they done built the whole body off, right? But they ain't got no slave ships. You,
Yeah,
you see what I'm
those
saying?
things don't add up. Right.
That's just something else to think about. But it ain't no slave ships. But you think that they could put in that wooden boat coming across the violent the most violent water on the planet is the Atlantic Ocean. You think they came across that in a wooden boat with, let's say, 40 people? You can only get what you gonna put 30 people, 40 people down there in that hull.
Yeah,
Then you gotta have and you gotta have like people to oversee these people. They gotta bring them out once, twice a day. They gotta exercise. You gotta let them, you got to move these people around so they can, or they're gonna die within a couple weeks. You got to
yeah.
feed them. All that. Come on, man. You need provisions. You need water and food down there in that boat. Come on, man. So you tell me that you make 10 million people. Come on, man. Everything is already, it's written down anyway. There's manifestos on all that stuff, man. What was transported? Sugar, salt, people, weapons, all that stuff, man. You go way back 500 years and you can see what they shipped from here to there.
And
And the
they talk
people,
about 15 million people within 150 years. Like, how is that possible?
yeah, but why
And
would
it
you?
take 3 months to get from coast to coast.
You think why you even on that slave stuff, right? Why would you go all the way over there to get slaves when it's people here already?
Yeah, yeah.
You just enslaved the people that you took the land from. But guess what? The people that you took the land from, you don't never want to give it back. So you convince them. You break the families up. You ship the little kids down the river. He down the Mississippi River, and the little boy, little girl, like, who am I? Oh, we bought you from Africa, but you ain't come from nowhere but up the river.
Right, right.
It's easy. It's not hard.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
not.
just
It's
condition
it's really not
a
hard.
child. It's kind of like what they doing in Palestine. You take the children, you indoctrinate them, and then you put them back. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You tell them one thing, you get them to think one way, and then you put them back over there, and then they will foment an idea, and then you just capitalize off of that for sure.
man. It's so sad. It's so sad with the people. It's so many different layers of deception. It's like it's layer after layer after layer. You got to deal with a lot of layers. And I ain't saying I dealt with all of them, but I just know one thing. I see me. I kind of like. I try to be. I just try to be like immune to a lot because
Mm,
I think it's a. Well, I know it's they harvesting our emotional energy in
mm,
ways that we don't know about. You
mm.
know what I'm saying? Like so, so when we get bent out of shape, whether we get hyped, we get whether we get angry or we get happy, all the different stuff. I think I know almost know that's how one of they harvest our energy that way. This is how
Mm.
they deal with, especially with that anger. When you talk about race stuff, and all the people, it ain't just like dark people like us. I'm talking about even the Peltons, they energy being harvested also.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when they, because on like Twitter, they do the whole, oh, I notice a pattern, or there's a pattern of, Europeans fighting melanated people, or melanated girls are not safe in America. And it's like, you're just pushing propaganda, you're pushing fear, you're pushing a deceit to get people to be acting in a way that is not conductive to a peaceful future. It's like you're pushing a war. And it's like, are you
Right.
pushing a war because you know that
Well,
you're in the wrong? You know what I'm
that's
saying?
why.
Like,
Hey, that's why we gotta remember. You know how we be getting in, like say we be getting into a lot of different stuff. Like say well, I'm pretty sure you know about like the elder, the brother, Bobby Hemmett, right?
yeah.
All right,
Rest
you
in
got.
peace to him, right?
I'm just use him as an example. You got Bobby Hemmett, right? You got Doctor Phil Valentine, or you got
Yeah.
the other doctor, Delbert
Delbert Blair, yeah.
Delbert Blair, right? Now, okay, let's say these people, and these people is like super duper, high intellect, right? And they might be
Mm,
talking, they talking metaphysics, they talking this, they talking that, they talking about multiple dimensional realities and all this kind of stuff, and we listening,
yeah.
and stuff going on at the same time, multiple different realities that's all the same. Some of this stuff, if you don't think about it, it won't be going down. It won't be going down in your reality. But if you focus in on it, just like racism, like, and I know this based from experience. When I was tuned into that, like really like was on to like a lot of that race stuff. I mean, meaning like it's just different levels in my life. When I was younger, I used to be more tuned into certain stuff. So I think I
Yeah.
was attracting it. You know,
Mm.
I attracted it. And I tell people, I use this as an example. I mean, one time my driver license got suspended for a little while, right? My license got suspended. It was suspended for, I forget, it was like some stupid crap with a ticket. I didn't pay. It was like insurance, something
Please.
stupid. But my license was messed up for a couple months. But my kids lived in Delaware, and these two of my sons that I had boxing. So every day I go pick them up in Bear, Delaware. We'll drive back to Philly. We'll train, and I'll drive them back. So every day I'm stressing. I'm thinking I don't want these police messing with me. So but I'm like, I thought about it. I said, you know what? I'm not doing nothing. I'm not bothering nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just simply going over to get my kids, bring them back to Philly to train. And really, I just got a very, very positive mindset. Look, where it's like, why am I worrying about? Why am I worrying about this? I'm not doing nothing to nobody. I'm not, So I'm
You're
just saying,
attracting negative
I
energy.
really got into that mindset, and I just never really got bothered by the police. And they never bothered me. I ended up getting my license back and all that, but that's
You
when
was
I started.
attracting that negative energy. You saying like you
Right,
you was
I
putting
wasn't
that
on that.
worry into the atmosphere, and then that would attract the thing that you was already that you didn't want.
Right.
You know,
So, on a bigger scale,
peace,
if they
peace.
fear monger all of us on just multiple different things, where it could be any different than anything, the dollar ready to crash, Jews
That
killing
what's funny,
Palestinians,
man.
uh,
I
Russia
was
trying
at
to take
work.
all of that stuff, but a lot of that stuff is not. None of that
Real.
stuff is going down in my reality. In my
Yeah.
reality right now, so I'm gonna be honest.
No.
I just don't. I think about it because I know it's buzzing, but it's not going down right here where I'm at. You
No,
know.
that's real because I was thinking that too. Like when I was
Yeah.
at work,
Yeah.
my boss is like, "Yo, what you think about this going on in Poland?" I'm like, "Man, that ain't nothing. That's not real. Like, why you? It's nothing to be concerned about. Like, it's just it's the primal scream of a dying breed. So they're trying to get you into this mindset
That's
of
cool.
World War
Yeah.
Three, World War
Yeah.
Three. We're going to
Well,
war. It's like we're not doing none of that."
that's true. That's a lot of the old ways, meaning the old control mechanisms. We'll call it mechanism. It's falling. So
Mm.
it's a lot of desperate attempts to get your mind power back in line with them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to be worrying about it. And I ain't saying like to be like I've never tell myself or anybody else to be like be heedless. Don't be heedless. But no, like you can look at something and see certain stuff, and then just be like, okay, and you just go the other way, right, or whatever. But I'm just saying, everybody got to manage it however they see fit for their own self. But that emotional investment is a part of it. That's a part of that's a part of it.
Yeah, that Matrix. Yeah.
Yeah, if
I
you
think
feed into that,
I think
they got you.
what's her name actually brought that up in one of her speeches talking about, if you think about it and we all think about it, it will manifest. So like that's they just try to get everybody collected. We're a collective consciousness.
Peace, peace, peace. Aloha. No, I'm speaking to some people. Yeah. No. I was reading somebody spoke. But go ahead, go ahead, go ahead,
Yeah,
go
for
ahead.
sure. I saw them. I was telling them peace earlier.
Right. I
Yeah.
didn't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a collective consciousness, man, and you're right. If we take our attention and we do what we have to do in our circle and we connect with another person doing what they got to do in their circle, the circle becomes bigger. And
Yeah.
I think that kind of answered my question when I was saying how do we make something trendy? how to, and put it into the zeitgeist of the culture so that people say, you know
It's
what, this is something that I want to do.
it's already happening.
Right.
You know, it's already happening. Even with the dimensional reality creation type thing, we doing it now. We're creating the reality. You know, that's how dangerous it is even to just to even look at certain stuff. Like if you look at the wrong thing on here, like on this uh platform, or you on the television and you watching something that could be negative or whatever, you're creating the reality. You know what I'm saying? So like just us getting into it is boom. It's setting something off. It, and like they say, you know, everything you do and say really kind of like it sends ripples through reality, through all of the realities. So like
Mm.
creating stuff. So like you just gotta.
You ever heard of the quantum mechanics? You ever heard of quantum mechanics? I
Yeah,
know
I've
you
heard
dig
about.
it.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about that. I just, you know how you hear about and you may, but that's not something that I really like dive
Dope.
deep into it. But I'm aware of that of that name. You know,
Yeah. That's kind of something that's kind of like what you were talking about, like you know, us putting our attention on this type of reality, is creating it, right?
hmm
It wasn't it wasn't in the world, but it is in the world. But us putting our attention on it makes it more vibrant and more alive.
yeah, that's right. You give it life.
Mm,
Cause just think about if you just think about what was what was the world like in other realities, meaning like other time zones, right? Well, I was living 10 years ago. I was living 15 years ago. And really, where I knew about certain things, but not to the point where like I know about stuff now. Like, you know how like, okay, African Americans ain't African, right? That's
mm,
something common now. Like a lot, everybody, ain't nobody that's not really surprising nobody no more.
mm.
You know,
You'd be
when people,
surprised, man. You'd be
no,
surprised.
no, I know what you mean, but I'm just saying, in my reality,
Yeah.
even the most jacklegged people, man, they know they be like, man, we ain't no Africans. We you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
they know that yeah, my grandma and them came from down south or whatever. You I mean, we know we like we Cherokee, we Creeks, we
right.
this, that, whatever. You know what I mean? But I can remember a time when no, everybody really people a lot of people really believed that they was African and that everybody was a slave and all of that. Like, do you know what that do to your brain?
Yeah. It messes it up.
Yeah, it's just all of that. But now we living in a reality. No matter how bad it is now,
Mm,
I truly know it's better than it was 20 years ago. I'm talking about my mind state and the mind state
mm,
of a lot of people that I'm close to. The people ain't just and even being on super ultra religion. We
mm.
used to be that. We used to be like that. And people ain't so hard hearted. Like yeah, and that's crazy that now it's to the point where so I perceive a lot of religious stuff as being harsh and hard hearted. So it's a lot of hard, this is it's
I,
great. It's yeah, you know what I mean.
I,
It's good.
I, I, you know, man, I think people are moving away from that, man. Like, I think maybe like before 2020, people were, but I think people are moving away from that. At least, you know, conversating with people at work, it seemed like people are moving away from that and they're looking for a new way of 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 connecting with the ever present spirit, you know, the higher consciousness. That's
Yeah,
why
but
I agree with you on that.
yeah, but it was always everything is all like religion. When stuff got reconstructed after during the reconstruction periods, religion, so-called religion, was reconstructed. whether it's Islam, Christianity, Bibleism, Buddhism, everything. Everything was reconstructed. So a lot of this, and a lot of the stuff that is considered taboo in all of the religions is really a part of true spirituality, and it really
Mm.
always is supposed to be together. Whether there's so many different things that's wrong. Like well, according to religion. Like I remember even me and my family and stuff like that. We wouldn't take pictures. Like I got whole religious trips, and I'm in Saudi Arabia and all that stuff, and I don't got no pictures of them. And this is back in the old 15 years, 20 years ago. I don't have no pictures because we wasn't allowed to take pictures back then. But now you see
As
all
a
the people.
Jehovah's
I'm just
Witness.
saying this is different, but pictures and videos could be used to you can be used both ways. But I'm just saying a lot of
When you say both
stuff.
ways, what do you mean, like both ways?
Uh,
In the negative and the positive, you saying?
no, certain stricter sects of all the religions, like you got Christian sects that they don't take pictures and videos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
got Islamic people the same way. So I mean, I'm just saying we in a different we in a different age. You know what I mean? The true people who are from the past who put together all of this. Let's say that all of this amazing architecture, high science, uh, high culture. Man, these people, the people that made them, maybe make them statues and stuff like that, people in high culture, that was the people. Um, that's where it all started from.
Mm.
Now, when they got it, they corrupted it and made it small. It was small, so okay, you can't. We got to concentrate on making money to live and survive. So we can't invest no time and energy into science, art, philosophy and all that. No, we just gotta follow it. And no, you just follow this one thing. You be in the church, you be in the masjid, or whatever. Like you don't have no time or no energy to put into your program. And you just programmed for everything to be small. They made everything small. Actually, I don't. That's one of the how I can narrow it down. But
Nah, I
yeah,
agree. I agree with that, man. Like, I,
so you know what I
yeah,
mean.
religion capitalize everybody's mind into small thinking, right? We're not being adventurous anymore. We're not
Right.
explorers. We're not scientists. We're not doing those things that we would normally do in the um exploration of life. Now I agree with that, man.
Yeah. Because if you're scared, religion is deep. It just really is. You know what I mean? I understand a lot because I was like a large portion of my life, I was, under, that umbrella. Like it's just scared, not, it's just that whole thing. I know all about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and really, you know, I'm a whole deviant to my family now. Like my friends, are like, yeah, I'm a vicious deviant, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, but the fact of the matter, when you get into like true history, and you realizing that even those people, those big names in religion and history, they wasn't like what the mainstream is saying. You know what I'm saying? Even what I learned that that certain royal people, like certain kings and different stuff, they had multiple names. Like
Mm.
okay, the name that you had in Europe is not the same name that you had in America, or that's not the same name you had somewhere else in Africa, or whatever. It was different name from place to place. You know,
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to figure all that out. But even with certain things, even you have Jesus, you have Muhammad, you have Moses. Uh, you have some schools of thought that say that these are not, well, these are certain people, but there are also titles, meaning there are different people at different times, dimensions, where different people had this title, the title of Muhammad, the title of Jesus, the title of Moses or
Mm.
Musa or Moshe. The whole thing, the whole Moses thing. That you go all down, up and down South America and Central and all wherever. Up into here in North America, the whole Moses thing is Nebo and Utah and all that stuff is right over there. So like I'm just saying. So what are they talking about? The stuff that's over here, it's just a lot. But you talking about different dimensions, time. The Russian dude, what's his name? Flamenco, Alexander. He did the
Oh,
whole thing with how they added 1,000 years. But he's not the only one. But he's the first one I heard about some years back when about the adding 1,000 years to the timeline and all that. So if they
yeah.
added 1,000 years to the timeline, most people don't even know what time it is. Well, I mean, what year? What year it is? Let alone like where we were truly at. So I mean, you see what I'm saying? It's so many different things that like I've learned to not believe that I got it. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
that
Yeah,
leads that leads
because
me to that
because
leads me to
soon,
think like how in Revelations it talks about the Most High speeding up time, right, so that the time would be short. And it's like, well, why did they add 500 years? Was that on them, or did the Most High put that on their heart to speed up time like that? You know, these are the type of concepts that I think about when we have these kind of conversations, because it's like, you know, the
I
Most
think it's
High is always in control. So did he
right.
put that on his heart to do that? You know, it's interesting when you
It,
look at
it,
it
it,
from that
it's
aspect.
it's all real. It's all real if you really think about it, because it, history. History repeating itself. Like multiple things going on now that, let's say, we already know about from the religious texts, and even other non-religious texts that's historical, that like talks about different things, floods, catastrophes, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, all that stuff. But and if you go deeper, when the people tell you, now you got the guy Terrence, what's his name? The guy from Roll Bounce, not Roll Bounce, Hustle and
Oh,
Flow.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah,
Terrence Howard.
now he coming out, he dropping all of this stuff on people, right? Which is it's probably true. Like he really, but see, people don't know. If you know about stuff, you know that in order for like the magic or all this different stuff that they doing, and for it not to be, it's a certain things they like with the karma and all the different stuff. They have to tell the people what they're going to do in order for it not to be any karmic debt
Mm,
connected to them. So they have to just tell you or write it on the wall. They work hard at making you too dumb to see the writing on the wall. But they
yeah.
told you. So whatever circle of whatever they doing, they don't have no karmic debt. And I'm just saying it's all a game being played. If you look at all of these celebrities, they put their emotional energy into you blowing up. This guy was blowing up like that. Somebody like P Diddy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Bill Cosby or whoever. I'm just saying somebody rich. If you know anything about how them people, the groups that they in to make that money, they you they have to go through humiliation rituals.
You know who talked
That's
about that? Sammy Davis Jr. talked about that. He was talking about how he was in something like that in the 50s or 60s. And he said it got to a point where he was like, it was everlasting. He was like, I'm out. I ain't doing that. He was on Sally Jesse Raphael show when he was talking about that.
They say he sacrificed. They say he sacrificed his eye for that.
Mm.
Yeah, that stuff is deep. But I'm just saying. So like, so just imagine, like if okay, like I even with even what you look what's going on with Puff Daddy. To me, I don't look at it like it's no big deal. Like I'm just saying, I'm not. I'm just saying if he did something bad to them people, which he probably did, I don't condone that, and nor do I uphold that kind of behavior. But what I'm saying is, I look at it as it's some type of humiliation type thing. It's a he's going through some type of humiliation ritual that he agreed to at the very beginning when he started making money. So,
Mm.
but that's another reason for me not to get all immersed into that. That's their reality. So I just leave it to them. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, lot of stuff, lot of lot of
So let me
stuff.
ask you, man, you think like Kanye was right what he was doing last year, or they used him to expose what was going on?
They not really exposing. If you really get it, you know that they're not the only. They're not exposing nothing that's going to benefit you, for real. There's no. By the time one of them say something about something, you done missed it. They just feeding you something else just to keep you in left field somewhere. You know what I mean? You know, you got to be digging. You got to go. Go above and beyond the Call of Duty in order to get free. This not no, and it ain't gonna be no. It ain't no physical fight blowing up bombs. See, we in the age. We in the new age, in the age of information, the age of Aquarius, they call it, right? Okay,
Yeah.
you got to think your way out. It's not. You ain't got. It ain't gonna be no. It ain't gonna be all that fighting stuff. Because if you think yourself, most of us, if we could think ourselves away, some of this stuff is not even going. If we create a reality where some of this stuff ain't gonna be going on,
Well, I'm not talking about the war. I'm talking about control. Them being in control.
the control is given. If you give it to them, then they have it. You see what I'm saying? So we go back to what we was talking about in the beginning with the law. We talking about,
Yeah.
hey, we still ended up talking about freedom. Okay, if you keep signing these contracts with the DMV, with the PennDOT, with the what's called PennDOT here, where I live. If you keep signing these contracts for these private non-governmental companies to have authority over you,
Mm-hmm.
you see, one little thing at a time, one little thing at a time. But if you don't understand what I'm talking about, you need to learn. Having driver's licenses, having fishing licenses, hunting license,
Mm-hmm.
a license to do all this stuff is not.
Yeah, license
It's
to
not
live life.
constitutional.
Yeah.
Yeah, free people
Yeah.
don't free people. You can't tell somebody free what to do with themselves. Even when you're dealing with, like, I'm serious. Even when dealing with, like, if you're dealing with family court and stuff like that, a lot of people don't know the law. A lot of brothers get done dirty through traffic. Not traffic, through family court. But it's all boils down to free people don't go through that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never see no Asian people. You don't never see no Jewish people down there in that family court. You don't never see that. You know who you see down there? You see corporate citizens. But you see corporate citizens. You see black people. You see white people. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You don't see nobody connected to no nationality down there, no judge telling them how to take care of their kids or don't take care of their kids.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
don't
saying.
see Chinese people down there, Japanese people down there, Arab. To me,
Right.
I don't know. I never,
Yeah, you
I
don't see
never
that.
been.
You
Yeah,
don't see that because
I never been down there to know if Arab people do that to each other, put each other on child support and all that.
they do scummy stuff too.
Mm.
Worse than us. Trust me. But I'm just saying, when you got a nation and a flag. the behind you, and you have representation inside of the human family, you're going to have more. You just have more. But if you the people who don't have no representation, they the ones that's always scared. You see,
Mm.
until but the one for certain a group of people, let's say American people, melanated people in America who have a lineage of a certain thing.
Mm.
These are the people that need to get behind certain individuals in our past that already established stuff for us. And it don't matter how you worship or and all of that stuff. You know, like really, I think Noble Drew Ali is probably the greatest one because he gave the people back their nationality, their true nationality. Because to be Indian, to be Negro, to be colored, to be Afro American, African American, Black, and all that stuff. That's denationalization. It just is. You've been
Yeah,
denationalized.
no, you're right.
You don't have
And
no nationality. There's no land. There's no such thing as land of black. There's no such thing as the land of white. If you Polish, okay, even though Polish people is really Moors and they melanated people, but we're gonna just for the sake of okay, somebody come from Poland, all right, and okay, but he's so called white. They not his grandma and them came from Poland.
mm.
They didn't come from a white land. The same way, okay, we talk about Africa and Kemet and all that different stuff. These people didn't call themselves black. That's some stuff they put in stuff for now for people to be on for people to be confused and in the dark about who they really are and about who has authority and having representation. All that stuff is legal. But if you don't have when you don't know who you are, then you're just gonna continuously have problems and look at stuff. And the whole thing, everything in the media is theater. It's theater.
Yeah.
The politics, all of that stuff. It's a show. It's a show.
Hmm.
Whether Trump, whoever, it's all show. It's just something for us to be able to dial into while the real stuff in the background is going on. It's just the
Hmm.
truth. People every 4 years, whatever, people run out and they vote, and don't nothing happen.
Yeah, but
Don't
I
nothing
think
change.
I think that stuff is gonna start changing, man. Just like you said, more people are coming into knowledge of self, and they're not participating in the ignorance anymore, right? So I think that's changing. We watching Rizza Islam, 19 Keys, you know, um, all these brothers, Seer Dugateers, and they're out there pushing this information. More people are finding it and saying,
Right.
"Yo, maybe there is something more to this." You never know what's gonna jog somebody to jump out of their sleep and start making action. But I think you're right, man. I always look at we just in the beginning stages.
That's what
We
it
just
is.
in beginning stages.
But we not, because you
Even
know
though
what?
we've been around for a long time,
Right.
you know.
But it's people that was, let's say, when I started following some of the conscious, so-called conscious stuff, 8 years ago or whatever. I'd say about 8 years ago, 8, 9 years ago. Even though I always knew about certain stuff, it's just that I was scared away from it by religion. But what I'm saying is, you got people run out of gas. You have the stuff that we doing right now. You have people doing this stuff more or less in the streets. I can remember people standing around in the streets trying to talk about different stuff, Moorish stuff, or just Israelite stuff. They try to say it's religion, but it's not all about that. But or just other high level kind of stuff. And guess what? A lot of them people that was around back then, they either older or they just tired. You know what I mean?
But it's time for new men and women
Right,
to take up the mantle.
right. So you got a group of people that still have a little energy and some zeal, and it's on us to do what we can to try to try to put some more stuff out and
Mm,
keep it rolling. Cause it's funny. Even one of it was weird. One of my children had said, see, she had said something to me about something. When I raised my kids a certain way, that they raised, they was raised under religion.
mm,
Uh, she was like, she wanted to ask me about so she really wanted to ask me something about astrology, and and she was just amazed that I knew something about it. You know what I mean? I was just gave her a little talk. Like most of the stuff that you're gonna run across out here, I already been dipped into it, or I know about it, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, like a lot of, I think we growing as a people on all sides, not just melanated people. You know what I mean? Even pale skinned people changing. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's all about
I
what
actually
reality.
I asked you before
Yeah.
about Republic, and I read the Circle Seven and all that stuff, and it talks about the hammer and sickle, and it's like I feel like communism or socialism only works in a small structure. It doesn't work on a nationality structure, right? So then you get to, I'll give you an example. Like you have the grandparents, the kids, and then you have the grandkids. That's where the socialist structure would be at, or a communist structure would be at in a family structure. And then at some point, the grandparents become advisors to the children, who become the stewards of the trust. And for some reason, other people are taking that to a national situation. But what I was really trying to get to was, you have the families that's doing that, and then you have the siblings that become a republic because they're all working together to uh and they would vote for what they need for their family structure. And I
Right.
think that's where a republic that I think we have the concepts of how these things are supposed to function within a nation, right? We think it's more like it's communism, or it's capitalism, or it's a democracy, or it's republic. I think everything has its place in the structure of a nation.
Yeah, but to me, like I'm just saying, like, but we never seen the success. We never seen success in any of these so-called religions, governments, because democracy, communism, all this stuff. To me, I mean, in my mind, how I look at it, I look at those are they're religions. I've never seen these government slash religions. They never worked. Whether it was like whatever was going on over there, because I grew up in the Cold War kind of stuff, like Russia versus the United States and all of that. So of course I saw the propaganda against them, and of course I lived in the fakeness and the falseness of like what was going on here in the United States. But I don't know. Like I'm just saying, like I don't think none of that stuff ever been. I haven't seen like everybody who was over there was trying to get away, was trying to escape.
No, but what I'm saying
And
is
and,
like
they, and
like
it,
I think they made that word a boogeyman, and I think it only works in a family structure. It doesn't work on a national or a bigger scale, right? You know,
I,
it,
I
you
don't
don't
know enough
expect your
about it.
kids, huh?
I said I don't know enough about it. I couldn't really say because I mean, I would still be looking at that stuff from a vantage point of somebody brought up under this capitalism and all of that. So
Mm.
I don't know how it is to live somewhere like Cuba, where I couldn't really do certain things.
Well, I'm not.
Just
Cuba is
yeah, I
in.
just
Well,
I
that's what I'm
don't
saying.
understand what.
Cuba's on a bigger scale. I'm talking about it has to be just only within a family. You know.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I would have to give more thought. Couldn't really. I would have to think about that
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
before I would just like respond. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right, right. Because I read Morals and Dogma, and I read all that stuff. And I was and the There's another one. Dang, my not the Communist Manifesto. You know, I read those things, and I'm like, you start thinking about it. Then when you read it in the Bible, how it has the structure of a man and a woman.
Can you see the comment?
Yeah, yeah. That's one of my brothers, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you understand why all the so-called immigrants are coming to America because of freedom and democracy? No, yeah. Well, hey, I look at it. Truth be told, you got people coming from other countries. They come over here to make a better, so-called better living, right? But then it's a whole group of people that live here that have issues with the government and the society and all of that stuff here. So, but it might be better here than it is there,
Yeah.
But that don't mean that it's like. But I know I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, it probably is just better here than it is in Haiti,
Mm.
or yeah, or I'm just saying. But you know, uh, it's just deep. It's a lot. You gotta go. You gotta go deeper with it because I know a lot of people. I got friendships, relationships with a lot of Arabs, a lot of you know, brothers that come from Africa. Well, different places in Africa, but and they always just talk mess about different things. Like so-called black people here having opportunities, and they don't really understand like certain stuff. Redlining, people, man, how parents and grandparents was redlined and all that kind of stuff couldn't get certain stuff we couldn't get, but they not here. You got a lot of people that come from other places. They not here to fight the system. They're not here to dispute. They're here to either to make some money or to get some type of secular education and either send money back to where they came from or go back to where they came from, whatever. But they're not here for all that. So so that's why people got to be in be in the right state of mind for their own self, for their own good. But
Yeah, I agree with that. I think people come here. I was talking to a Pakistani guy a couple days on live on TikTok, and he was thinking like America is one of the greatest places. There's freedom everywhere. The government isn't corrupt like how his country is. I'm like, man, you got a warped sense of what this place is. Like,
yeah, but
don't.
look, look. I told somebody a parable. This is how multiple realities can go on in the same place at the same time, right?
Mm,
You got a house, and as a man and a wife, and they got 3 children. They got 3 sons, and all of them do different things. You got one. He's a drug head. He like to smoke and drink and party, right? They're all good kids, but I'm just saying he liked to party, right? Then you got the other one, he liked to read books,
mm,
right? And then they got the other one, he back there, he play all the sports, he basketball, football, boxing, whatever, he do all that. So they all got the same mom and dad, and you know, they all do they live in 3 completely different worlds inside of the same house.
mm.
It's
Yeah,
like the guy who reading the books, he is not experiencing the same reality that the dude, his brother is playing sports. And the
yeah,
guy, the one that's getting high and drinking and drugging, is experiencing something
totally
totally
different.
different from them. So it's just, as a small example, but for that dude that protects him, he probably experiencing something different, something better than most so-called black people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But your boy said, remember the rest of the world has a class system. Yeah, yeah. I
I mean,
mean,
that's undisputable. I mean, a lot of that what he's saying is undisputable. I think it's just their concept of America is warped based off of their concept of where they live at. Because they're all getting fed propaganda about America and they want to come here thinking that they're gonna get a better life, a greater life, and there's money everywhere. And you know, it's kind of what you're saying is true, and at the same time is, you know, it's dichotomy to that conversation because they're getting fed propaganda about this place as well, because
true.
we're not experiencing what they think
but
they're going to experience when they get here.
it's not. But it's not dark skin. It's not dark skinned people because you got dark skinned people that come over here that's classified as so called white people. But if you know the law, inside of the law says who white people are according to law. You know what I'm saying? And the bottom line is, if you rob, if you do a robbery, come on, we watching movies, right? Okay, you rob a you rob a bank and you take some money from some people. You take all these provisions and all this money from a group of people. But you know you need some help selling the gold or whatever. You know you need some help, so you invite these people that come from over here to come help you do whatever you're doing with this stuff that you done stole. But you gotta say, listen, these people, the people who we stole this money from, and we stole this, we can't, we gotta work together to keep everything good, so we can keep doing what we doing and continue this on. So this is why you see a group of people. It's a lot of ins and outs. We could talk for days and months and weeks and all that stuff. But the bottom line, it's this particular reason, and the only way you're going to get to some type of something better for yourself, you got to step into your true self. And then you got to do step into your true self without being emotional about it. You got to do it from with a clear head. We're not with emotional intelligence. You got to have emotional intelligence. You can't be just like mad about some black and white shit or whatever. Like you got to be get with it. Get with the real program. And the real program is knowing the law and knowing what the heck is going on. Because even with learning what's the difference between privileges and rights, you know what I
Mm.
mean? You know, people like get into that, like privileges and rights. Like, what's the difference, or what was the people back in the day? What were they fighting for? If you look further in the back, you'll be looking. The whole civil rights thing was for Indian rights. That's the original name of the movement, was for Indian rights. It's still a misnomer, but
That's true too. They do help each other.
right.
That's the part that we got to get out of. Like we got to start working together. And I told you this yesterday on the phone. I'm like, food, water, and shelter is the key, man. If we know where our food is and we know where our water is, you know, uh, doing our own jurisdiction, having our own jurisdictions, having our own license plates and body politic, it would be easy, right?
Right.
But we looking at it too much in the individual's aspect, and everybody's looking at it as a people aspect. That's why I talk about
It ain't
the
people. This
collective consciousness.
Yeah, it ain't your boy. He commented. He said almost also most foreigners they help each other, but then he said, but they look at blacks in America as lazy, and he said so education is key in building like the days of old. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
lot
we
of all
agree.
this stuff, you know. But it's the same way how we look at it. Ain't just us them looking at us funny. That's why I always try to like because the propaganda. Let's say I know when I was growing up. Back in the day, we used to say negative stuff about like African people. You know what I'm saying? And we thought negatively based on what we was shown on the television. You know what I mean? We always but groups of people. We all been programmed against each other. But that's another thing about this society. We have a conflict doctrine inside the religion, conflict doctrine in the neighborhoods, I mean, just stuff to follow. It's always everything's based on conflict. Even if you come inside the conscious community, okay, Israelites versus Moors, Moors versus Aboriginals, it's always some Muslims versus Jews, Christians versus uh Muslims. You know what I mean? All that stuff is all it's everything is conflict based. When it's all based and it's all basis and it's all based on bullcrap. It's all based on bullcrap. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
67 weeks have start connecting to make money. I don't know what that means.
yeah, I thought you said you know him.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Yeah.
I don't know
I'm
what that means.
76. Yeah. Okay. Well, let you
Oh,
in on the talk.
yeah. That's what he's talking about.
But we ain't got that much time. We probably I'm gonna let you. I'll let you in on the. We let you in on the next one. Because we probably ready to end this one anyway. We've been on it for about an hour and a half. We've been on it for a while, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you know, but no, that's. I don't know, man. This is a good talk, man. We gotta do it again, man. Do it again tomorrow, but you know,
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm with
it's
it,
always
man. I'm
good.
trying to build. We got to build this joint, man.
Maybe, maybe get on with us the next time, or the sister Jenny,
I thought
she
you were
can get
gonna let
on.
her in earlier when she came through. I was like, I
Yeah,
ain't
but
know.
I kind of looked at your page and I seen, you got to have 1,000 because I tried that before. This before I got 1,000. I tried to get on a live. You gotta have 1,000 before they let you on, unless they
Oh,
lowered
they
it.
don't have 1,000.
Yeah, you gotta have 1,000 to get to jump on the live. So we gotta
Yeah,
get your like,
he
get your
got a
followers.
thousand. He got like 3,000.
No, as I was saying, next time maybe tomorrow we could. What's tomorrow? Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We do it
Yeah, you
again.
come on the same time, man. The same time, everybody, gets used to us being on here, seeing our faces when they scrolling through TikTok,
Yeah.
man.
All
You
right,
know?
that's cool. That's cool. We can run it back. We can run it back. We will talk about some whatever. Talk
Yeah,
about some other stuff.
he was in
I really wanted her to get on though because I wanted her to really like to dive deep on the
Terry.
on the mud flood, Tartaria, all that kind of stuff because that's a major piece because you had this because we talk about America, but there was a United States. It was a United in the old world. It was the United States of Russia, the same way like it's the United States of America.
Mm,
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I found that I learned by digging in from that line of information. It brought a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Got a lot of information from through that. A lot of clarification on a lot of stuff. So it's just it's a lot of stuff people don't know. But if you get into that information that Mudflood is putting out about history,
mm.
you're gonna know that what you learned in school is not the truth at all.
Facts. No, I believe that.
It's not, even the names of this place here, right here now, that it's not, it's not, it's not that. So,
Yeah.
but
All
no,
right,
man,
man.
I appreciate
I,
you, and I guess I hit you up tomorrow afternoon, and I appreciate everybody who stayed on with us,
yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
guess we'll go back on tomorrow night at 7.
Yeah. All right, man. Peace, brother.
All right, peace, everybody.